Welcome to the Unreal Forge. This is the very first video of our Unreal Engine Beginner series. In this video, and only this video, I want to set the stage for what's ahead. This series is designed to take you from knowing nothing about Unreal Engine to confidently creating your own projects. Think of this as the start of a journey, where each video builds on the last. But don't worry, after this we'll jump straight into hands-on learning, no repetitive intros. Let's launch Unreal Engine and create our first project. Here we have 5 types of projects you can choose from according to your need. For example, if you are an architecture artist, you can select architecture and use Archviz template to start working on. But I'm going to choose blank game template with starter content. And from here, you can select the location of your project. Always try to choose a folder with enough space, because Unreal Engine projects can take a lot of space in your drive, depending on what you're trying to make. Name it whatever you like, and now click on Create. Once you do that, it'll create a project folder on the location you chose, for example on my desktop, because I chose desktop as my project location. In this video, we're going to break down the Unreal Engine user interface, specifically what you see around the viewport, navigating the objects, and more. At the very top, you'll find the Toolbar. This is where you'll access essential tools like playtesting, saving, and building your project. It's your quick access to important commands. Next up is the Content Browser. Think of this as your library. Every asset, texture, and model lives here. You'll be using it a lot to drag and drop assets into your scene. You can open it by clicking on this Content Drawer button, or press and hold Ctrl and Space. From keyboard, it'll show up and you can close it with same shortcut. Or you can dock it in Layout by clicking on Dock in Layout button for quick access to your all objects and materials. When you dock it in Layout, it's called Content Browser. So Content Drawer and Content Browser are same. Over on the right is the Outliner. This is like a directory of every object in your scene. Use it to quickly select and organize your assets. When you select an object, its properties appear in the Details panel. This is where you can tweak settings like position, rotation, materials, and more. I will cover everything in this series of Unreal Engine. To the left, you'll see the Modes panel. This is where you'll find tools for placing objects, painting landscapes, and even working with lighting. And finally, the viewport itself. This is your canvas, where you see and edit your 3D world in real time. We'll dive deeper into its features soon. That's a quick overview of the Unreal Engine interface. Getting familiar with these panels will make your work much easier. Let's create an empty level, and the one important step you have to do every time you create a new project is create a basic light environment. Now go to Window button and click on Environment Light Mixer. Keep the minimal mode. Then press on Create Skylight, Create Directional Light, Create Sky Atmosphere, Create Volumetric Cloud, Create Height Fog. This is the basic lighting you have to create every time you start creating something. The lights and clouds will be visible to Viewport, and everything that's inside Viewport will be added to Outliner as well. Second important thing you have to do is organize your Outliner so it'll be easy to navigate your objects and assets in Outliner easily. Now left-click on Directional Light and hold Shift key from keyboard, and select Last Asset in your Outliner. It'll select all the assets are in between those two assets. And once everything you wanted to select is selected, now you can right-click and go to Move to button. And here you can create new folder, or you can directly click on Folder button inside Outliner. It'll do the same thing, and you can name it Lighting because it'll control the lighting of your scene. Now let's save our level. In Unreal Engine, a level is a fundamental concept representing a playable or editable environment where game elements like actors, lights, geometry, and gameplay logic come together. It can be considered a container for all the assets. For example, Earth is a level and we're assets and actors in it. And now, one thing you have to keep in mind that you have to organize your project content browser. Always keep them organized so you don't mess up with assets or objects inside your game. And keep in mind, the subfolders should be inside content folder, not in starter content. I'm naming the folder map, and I will name this level as Beginner, because I'm going to use this level as explaining the navigation. Whenever you reopen your project, you can start working on same level by double-clicking on that level from Content Browser. Now that we've covered the user interface, let's talk about navigation inside the Unreal Engine Viewport. This is where you'll spend most of your time building and editing your 3D world, so let's make sure you're comfortable moving around. Let's quickly add assets to set up a very basic level. Click on plus button to add a cube and a sphere. I will quickly transform them to explain moving around in Viewport. We just created these two assets, and now I will show you how you can move around your viewport with mouse. So first, hold Alt key from keyboard and hold left mouse button, and you can orbit around in Viewport freely. Wherever you move your mouse, you move with it. You can rotate in one place or go forward and backwards really easily. Now if you keep holding Alt key and hold middle mouse button, you can pan up and down or side to side in your viewport. Again, we can pan in all directions while holding middle mouse button, while holding Alt key from keyboard, and while holding left mouse button and Alt key, you can move around Viewport. You will get used to it while working on your project. And now let's head to the most common movement method in your viewport with keyboard. It's like you're playing any first-person shooter game. Now, if you're holding right mouse button, your cursor will minimize, and now use W to go forward, A key to go left, and D to go right, and S key to go backwards. Press Q from keyboard to go down and E to go up. That's how you move around in your viewport with the help of keyboard. You also can control the speed of movement with the camera speed button on right corner of your viewport. Now left-click on this button and drag it to the left, and you will move slower in your viewport. And when you move to the higher value, for example 8, you will move faster. We have moved really far from our assets. I have an important tip for you in this case. Go to Outliner, select any asset you were working on before, and press F from your keyboard. You will directly go to that asset. F is shortcut key for focus. I will go to default speed of camera because it's perfect for most cases, but sometimes we have huge map, so we have to move faster or slower in some cases. Your viewport defaults to perspective, giving you a real-world view. But for precision tasks, switch to orthographic views like top, side, or front. You can find these options in the drop-down at the top left corner. Now, if you're inside top view, you can adjust the position of sphere and floor from top precisely. And same for left and right views, you can work on scene from a specific side to adjust the objects in your scene. And if click on right corner button inside viewport, it'll show 4 viewport from different angles. And you can keep the default view to perspective view, so you can see what's going on in your 3D world while you work with orthographic viewports. If you want, you can maximize any of the viewport by clicking on Maximize button on that viewport and work in it freely. Finally, let's talk about view modes. Lit shows your scene with lighting and materials. Unlit focuses on assets without lighting. For example, these meshes have same material and there's no light. If I deselect the sphere, it won't be visible because no lights or shadows, but mostly we have different materials on our assets. So it's useful to work in this mode without giving fuck about lighting and shadows. And there are 0 lags in this view mode. Wireframe mode is incredibly useful when you need to see the underlying structure of your scene. Instead of showing materials, lighting, or colors, it displays your objects as a network of lines. These represent the edges of their polygons. You can switch to lit wireframe as well. Both view modes are extremely useful for debugging. Experiment with these modes depending on what you're working on. Another useful feature in the Unreal Engine viewport is the Show button, located in the top toolbar. This drop-down gives you precise control over what is visible in your scene. Fog to see your scene with or without atmospheric effects. You can also disable static meshes. It'll remove them from viewport. If you want to go to default viewport, you can click on Load User Defaults. It'll bring everything back. The Show button is a powerful tool for customizing what you see in the viewport. Use it to tailor your view to what matters most during different stages of development. And that's how you navigate the Unreal Engine viewport. With these tools and shortcuts, you can move around your scenes confidently and efficiently. Practice a bit, and it'll soon feel second nature. Now that you know how to navigate the viewport and customize what you see, let's dive into adding objects to your scene and transforming them. We already have our sphere from last part of the video. I will explain about transformation first. When you click on Object, you can see a gizmo on that object. And on default, it's a Move gizmo, which you can use to move objects in any axis. I'm hovering over gizmo Y-axis. It's highlighted in yellow color. So if you hold left-click, you can see a hand grabbing that gizmo. Now you can freely move sphere in that direction. You can grab Z-axis gizmo to move in that Z-axis. Easy, right? You have to practice a bit with moving objects in all the directions to get used to it. Let me get into a common angle of 2 axes. So if you grab in center of X and Y axis, now while holding left click from keyboard, we can move object in both axes. It's very easy and useful in most cases, and we can do it with Y and Z axis as well. You can select any 2 axes or all 3 axes to move objects around. And if you want, you can use grid snapping for moving objects. On top right of your viewport, you can see movement. Snapping is off, but in your case, it'll be enabled on default. If this button is blue, it means it's enabled, and if it's gray, like in my case, it's surely off. The default value is 10, means the object will move 10 centimeters each time you move it. You can increase or decrease the value. But I like my viewport smooth. That's why I keep snapping turned off. Now let's switch Move gizmo to Rotation gizmo. The shape of gizmo will change. You can press ET from your keyboard to go to rotation mode. So if you rotate sphere, it's hardly noticeable. So I will go to Toolbar and click on plus button, and I will add a cube in my scene. I will move it to the center of our floor. Let me adjust the viewport to the cube, and this time I will use shortcut key to switch between Move gizmo to Rotation. You can rotate in all 3 axes freely, and we also can use snapping for rotation as well. Go to right corner of your viewport and turn on snapping. Again, it's enabled on default, so you don't have to. It rotates 10 degrees on each snap-on grid. Pretty simple, and you can also increase the value for rotation. Since I don't like snapping, I keep them off on all of my projects. Now it's time for scaling. To go to scaling, you can directly press R from your keyboard. The gizmo shape will change again, so you can identify it's on scale mode. It works same as Move tool. The only difference it'll make, that object will scale in the axis you're dragging it to. You can increase the scale or decrease the scale pretty easily, like I'm showing in my video. If you want to undo your scale or any type of transformation, you can press Ctrl plus Z from keyboard. And if you want to scale in X and Y axis, you can go to center of X and Y axis, and once both axes highlighted, you can hold and drag them to scale up or down according to your requirement. You can also grab the center of all 3 axes to scale the object uniformly. Scale up or scale it down to adjust the object in your scene. You can use scale snapping as well. Again, on default, it's enabled, but I keep it disabled. When this button is highlighted in blue, it is enabled. Those are 3 transformation tools in Unreal Engine or any other 3D software, and you will get used to the shortcuts easily. W for Move tool, E for Rotation, and R for Scaling. All 3 keys are close to each other. You may have noticed by now if Move gizmo isn't pointing to correct direction because it's using world alignment. To use object alignment, you can see the button on your viewport with icon of sphere. When you click on this button, it'll turn into a cube. So now you are on object alignment. Now you can move your object on its own direction. You have to switch between these modes according to your requirement while designing a map or world for your game. You have to use object rotation for most cases, because when you rotate object on world mode, it'll change the location of the object. And we have to avoid that, so this button is helpful on that case. Movement, rotation, and scaling of an object is done. Practice it for some time. Now let's learn how to add the objects to your viewport. First method was go to Toolbar and go to plus button and add shapes to your scene, like we added sphere and cube before. Let me show you once again. I added a cylinder, and I will use all the transformation tools to show you how you can change the cylinder into something else that won't be useful for our scene, because we're just learning basics in this video. We can also add lights in our scene. So go to plus button, go to lights, and I will add a point light. And white light not properly visible on Y surface. So I will change the light color from details panel to purple to make it visible. I hope you remember I showed you details panel in the beginning of the video, and here we can make a lot changes to object properties. If you can't see the details, select point light in outliner, and then I will change the color from details panel. Now light is visible in viewport. You can scale, move, and rotate the lights as well. I will cover the lighting in a dedicated video to lighting only because it needs a lot of patience to build scenes with lighting. We have 4 meshes in our scene, and we have to organize our outliner, so I will add them in a folder and name it Static Mesh. Projects get so big, we add tons of lights, tons of assets in a scene to build the game. If everything is organized, then it'll be easier to debug your scene. After adding objects to your scene, sometimes you have to duplicate your object. To duplicate, select any object from your viewport and press Ctrl+D from keyboard. And it'll be duplicated. And then you can move it to the different location wherever you want it to be. I will undo this, and there's a second way to do it. Select your object, and when you're on Move tool, hold Alt key from your keyboard and drag the object in any axis. It'll duplicate that object. One useful tip: if you move your object, the viewport is still. So if you want to move the object really far from its location, hold Shift key from keyboard. And when you move your object while holding Shift, the viewport will move with it. Use this method so you won't have to drag camera and object in this way. It's really time-consuming and really hard to align object to its proper location. And we can duplicate as many as objects we want. Select multiple objects while holding Shift. If you selected any wrong object, now you can hold Control key to deselect that object. Once you select the object you wanted to select, now hold Alt key and duplicate them. If you duplicate objects that were inside a folder already in your outliner, the new objects will be in the same folder. These are the simple shapes and lights we can add from Toolbar. Second way to add objects in your scene is your content browser, the library of all the assets you can import from Blender, Maya, or any other 3D modeling software you use. For now, I'll use assets from Starter Content folder. Go to Props inside Content folder, and you will find some assets, and I will drag and drop Statue from that folder. We added Statue in our scene, and we can see its name inside Outliner, since it's a static mesh, so I will drag and drop it to Static Mesh folder. We can transform it and use it in our scene. And that's how you add and transform objects in Unreal Engine. That wraps up this introduction to the Unreal Engine viewport. We've covered the user interface, navigation, adding objects, and transforming them, all the essentials to get you started building your scenes. This was the first part of our beginner course. In the next video, we're diving into the post-process volume. This tool is a game changer for adding cinematic effects like depth of field, bloom, and color grading to your scenes. Trust me, you won't want to miss it.